All right, we're continuing to monitor the ongoing investigation into the attempted bombing of several high-profile Democratic figures. Today, as the suspect in those bombings was taken into custody, two of his targets took to the campaign trail to rally voters ahead of the midterm elections. Barack Obama held rallies in Wisconsin and Michigan today. Joe Biden held a rally in New York. During his remarks, the former vice president directly addressed the bombing attempts.
I hope that this craziness that's going on about these pipe bombs, I hope and pray that our leaders are going to work to lower the temperature in our public dialogue. And I have faith the vast majority will do that. Because, folks, we're a lot better than this.
Obama didn't mention the bombing during either of his speeches today. Instead, he stayed focused on the upcoming election. Specifically, he narrowed in on recent attempts by Republican officials to try to rewrite history about his signature policy achievement, the Affordable Care Act.
The law made it illegal for the first time for insurers to discriminate against you if you've got a pre-existing condition. We put an end to that. Democrats made that happen. Not a single Republican, not one, joined us. Not one. Repeat that, not one. Since that time, they have spent the last 8 years obsessed with trying to undermine, sabotage, repeal that law that makes sure you're not discriminated against because of pre-existing conditions. They've done everything they could. They took over 60 votes in Congress to get rid of it. Now that it's election season, these same Republicans are running millions of dollars worth of ads around the country saying we're going to protect pre-existing conditions. Your governor's been running one of those ads while his administration is literally suing the government to take away pre-existing conditions protections. That is some kind of gall. That is some kind of chutzpah. But let's also call it what it is. It is a lie.
Call it what it is, a lie. That line became something of a theme throughout the former president's speeches today. In two separate speeches, he repeatedly called all of the ways that the Republican Party has embraced the era of blatant mendacity ushered in by the current president.
What we have not seen before in our public life, in my outright lie, is politicians just blatantly, repeatedly, baldly, shamelessly lying. Just making stuff up. The president said he'd pass a middle-class tax cut before the next election. Congress isn't even in session. He just makes it up.
In both of his speeches, the president stayed focused on the upcoming midterm elections and warned voters to be leery of last-minute scare tactics ahead of them.
In the 2010 midterms, it was government bureaucrats are going to kill your grandma. Remember death panels? Just made it up, but that was a thing. 2014, Ebola is going to kill all of us. Remember that? In the last election, it was Hillary's emails. This is terrible. Hillary's emails. We were hearing emails everywhere. This is a national security crisis. They didn't care about emails. And you know how you know? Because if they did, they'd be up in arms right now as the Chinese are listening to the president's iPhone that he leaves in his golf cart. It turns out it wasn't, I guess it wasn't that important.
2 years into the Trump presidency, many Americans, including many of us in the media, have become numb to the surreality of this current political moment. And there's something powerful about a former president reminding us all that this is not normal. This wasn't always like this. It doesn't always have to be like this. The question is, will that message be enough to break through to voters over the next 11 days? John Nichols and Karine Jean-Pierre will help me try and answer that question after this.